God of War is one of the biggest franchises in Sony's history, and several of the games in the series are some of the best-selling PlayStation games of all time. God of War Ragnarok sold over 15 million units and was the single fastest-selling PlayStation exclusive of all time until Spider-Man 2 came along and officially dethroned it. Now, with the Amazon Prime adaptation in the works, Sony seems eager to get some new God of War content into the hands of gamers, but some new rumors floating around have been suggesting that the God of War game could be nothing like the last couple in the series, and depending on who you are, that could be either a good thing or a bad thing. If you're more of an old school God of War fan like myself, you're probably going to be absolutely stoked about this. In today's video, we're going to talk about all of the latest God of War rumors and leaks that have came out, and we're going to talk about a brand new spin-off game that's allegedly coming this year. So we're going to talk about that and more, guys. We have a lot to cover, so check the video chapters for easy viewing. Also, don't forget to enter the PS5 giveaway. Those details are in the pinned comment, and let's get started. In case you missed the rumors over the last year or so, there have been several gaming insiders claiming that Sony is working on some kind of update to the original Greek God of War games, either with a full-on remake of the trilogy or one with a massive upscaled and remastered port for the PlayStation 5 and the PC. Now, I've made several videos on this topic because the reports have been going around for quite a long time about Sony's apparent desire to bring these games into the next generation, but as of this month in 2025, we're in March right now, we don't have any official confirmation, which is a little odd because these reports seem to have originated from reliable sources. Plus, with how popular the God of War franchise is, you would think that Sony wants to get more content out as soon as they can, especially since the Greek era Kratos played a pretty major role in God of War's Ragnarok Valhalla expansion. Like, it all seemed to tease that we were going to Greece in some form or fashion, and the end of the Valhalla storyline brought young Kratos back to current day Kratos so that he could essentially master thyself, confront his past, and become the God of War. So yeah, Valhalla did a great job reestablishing the younger version of Kratos in the current God of War canon, which really seemed like Sony had something else cooking up at the time. But here we are all these months and years later, we have nothing to show for it. So as of right now, the rumors of a trilogy remaster seem to be incorrect, which is pretty incorrect at this point. The 20th anniversary of God of War has came and gone, and we didn't get any news during that, so yeah, the dream is pretty dead. What I think happened is these insiders probably saw the God of War Dark Odyssey collection, which was the cosmetic set, and then assumed that was for the remastered collection, which it indeed was not. It was just a cosmetic for God of War Ragnarok. So yeah, it certainly seems that these rumors were just misinterpreted because we recently got some news about the Greek God era God of War games, and it's not exactly what everyone thought it would be. It's actually something that I reported on recently from Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, where he said that we would be getting a spin-off of the God of War Greek era starring younger Kratos in Greece. Now, recently, gaming insider Jeff Grubb, who actually corroborated the story about a Greek-themed remaster or some sort of collection happening, well, according to him, he said that Sony is quietly working on a God of War spin-off game that is going to take place in the Greek era and star a young and angry Kratos. Grubb said that he was told by his inside source that Santa Monica Studios is currently working on a more small-scale game that will be a side story to the main God of War canon, and it will also be the first Greek-themed entry in the series since God of War Ascension, which released all the way back in 2013. Now, Jeff Grubb stated in a tweet that the new Greek-themed God of War is going to come out at some point in 2025, but that it's unrelated to the remaster collection. Over on his Blue Sky, he said this: "Okay, everyone keeps asking me about this, so I've tried to find out more." He said there's still a Greek God of War thing coming out this year, but it's not a remaster collection, it's a new side story project. Jeff continued on by saying, "I was never told about a remaster collection, but I asked a source about the rumors that I saw were focused on a collection, and that they told me nothing God of War would happen at the State of Play, but something could show up at the anniversary." So in all reality, it seems like the remaster collection was never real, but it still could be real. Like, they could obviously green light a new project and, give us the remastered collection eventually, but just not anything soon. But like, let's be real here, guys. It's a remastered collection. It's not like that's going to require a ton of new work to get it working. So I think it's possible that a remastered collection does come out sometime next year, which I think that's probably the best case scenario. I would personally love if both happen. Imagine if we got the spin-off game this year and the next year we get the remastered collection. That would be absolutely wild. And in my opinion, it could be the giant win that Sony really needs, because I think all of us can really agree that Sony's first party offerings in this PlayStation 5 generation, they've been a bit on the weak side whenever it comes to cadence. Like getting only like one game a year or 2 games a year is a little unfortunate. And that's not even mentioning the remastered and remakes that we've gotten from PlayStation as well, which I guess I'm really advocating for a Greek theme remaster, but you know what I'm saying. PlayStation really needs another big win. Now, the combat mechanics of the new Greek themed game are currently unknown, but I think it's safe to assume that it will be a bit more old school, while also likely retaining the same look as God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. I don't think we're going to go back to the old school hack and slash games, although that would be pretty awesome to get. Like, I wouldn't complain at all, especially after the success of games like, you know, Devil May Cry 5, Bayonetta 3, and the recent Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Sony could see this hack and slash revival as the perfect time to bring back the old school God of War gameplay formula. And honestly, I hope they do, because I would love a new God of War game in that time period with the old school combat style. Like, that would be absolutely amazing, especially if it features the same level of graphical detail as the Norse era games. But I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Like, would you rather have something that's the old school hack and slash style, or something like the new refresh gameplay from God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok, but in a similar style to the Greek themed games? Like, I don't know if you guys played Valhalla, but dude, seeing like the landscapes and the enemies of the older school games. But again, I'm kind of fine if they go either direction. Like, I would love, you know, a return to the hack and slash old school style, but then again, you know, having something that's more similar to God of War Ragnarok would probably be better for new fans. Now, through all of these rumors, Santa Monica Studios has been strangely quiet about what they're working on, which does seem to indicate that something big is going on. Santa Monica Studios is one of Sony's most acclaimed and highly funded developers, and they've been on a bit of a hiring spree over the last couple of years, and we haven't really gotten anything actually announced in terms of new titles since the release of God of War Ragnarok, which is very strange because the studio is obviously working on something. Like, there's no way a studio this big would just be sitting there on their hands for this long, and with how many people are working there, I wouldn't be surprised if there are 2 or 3 projects going on. We know that Cory Barlog has his sci-fi project in the works, and we know that God of War 6 is coming eventually, but presumably God of War 6 isn't going to enter full production until Cory's new game is finished. And since he's already more or less confirmed to be the God of War 6 creative director, like, he's probably going to run the show for God of War 6, this means there's a lot of people at Santa Monica Studios that have been working on something that hasn't been announced yet, likely being led up by the director Eric Williams, who directed God of War Ragnarok, which is where this new God of War Greek era game could be coming in. This would also tie into some of the job listings that have popped up last year looking for new combat designers, specifically combat directors, for an unannounced game, where the job description said that the new hire must be familiar with God of War and its combat mechanics. Out of everybody, we've heard Cory Barlog say that, you know, Eric Williams is the guy. He is likely going to be the future of God of War with this new spin-off game, but this does raise a few questions as to where God of War 6 is, though. Like I said earlier, series creative director Cory Barlog is currently working on a brand new IP that is seemingly going to have a sci-fi theme to it, but we have no idea what it's called or when it's coming out. Like, we know it's probably going to get revealed this year during one of the summer showcases, but it's really starting to worry me that it's actually not going to come out for the PS5 and they'll keep it for the PS6, which means we're likely going to be waiting a really long time for God of War 6, which is a bit unfortunate. Sony seems to be pretty dedicated to letting Cory Barlog direct the next game in the series, but the longer it takes for his current project to fully finish up, assuming it hasn't been quietly canceled, which I don't think it has. Like I said, I think we're going to get that thing revealed during this year's PlayStation showcase in the summer, but the longer that game takes, the longer it'll take for God of War 6 to enter full production. I think this may actually be a major reason why Sony is turning to the Greek era games for new content, because obviously they want more God of War content getting out on the store shelves because of how popular the God of War IP is. By releasing the original trilogy on the PlayStation 5 and PC, they can drum up some new interest in the series, but again, we likely won't get the remastered collection for a long time. But them releasing a spin-off game between now and Cory's next game, as well as God of War 6, would be a good filler. Like, you're releasing a God of War game, but you're also, you know, buying Cory more time to start working on God of War 6. Not to mention, you're also drumming up the excitement for the God of War franchise, all before the release of the first season of the God of War TV show, which should be happening soon. But that's going to wrap it up with this video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel with your notifications turned on so you're not missing out on any future God of War news. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Holy crap, you made it this far in the video. Real quick question for you guys that are the ball knowers. Who should play Kratos with this spinoff game? Should it be Chris Judge or should it be TC Carson? Let me know down below.